11th, 2023. It is 6 p.m. Can I please have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. So everybody knows we're recording via WCAT 12, which is being streamed live at our local network. We are also recording via Zoom and live streaming via Facebook also. If anybody else is recording, please let us know so we can let everybody else know in that area. If you're called upon in the meeting, please identify who you are and what department you are, or if you're a resident. That's a requirement for social media that we have to do. Okay. Okay, first thing on the agenda is, well, are we doing Veterans Council? Is that the first thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because you have discussion on possible vote for.
Well, that's because the numbers go with what's in your thing. But if I don't have anything to put in your binder, then it gets a dot.
Oh, okay.
It's a little zero.
It's a zero. Okay, so discussion by members of Veterans Council on upcoming events and an update on Wreaths Across America project. Folks,
Hi.
you're up.
So,
How you doing tonight?
up front, or,
Yeah, if you want to. Why wouldn't you want to be up front where we can see you?
That way people will hear properly. You're closer to the.
so thank you for taking us tonight. Jim squeezed us in. I know you got a heavy agenda, so we'll only take a minute of your time. So Rebecca, Sarah, and Rich Demetrius, co-chairs of the Veterans Council. So we just wanted to update the board. We're able to pick up all 560 wreaths and dispose of them off the graves. We had a very successful first year of the Wreaths Across America, so we're very, very pleased with that. The new campaign for 2023 is starting, so there's going to be some information about that coming out soon, so we can fundraise all year long. I know that, the board had agreed, and thank you very much for putting that article on for this year. And again, the point is to fundraise where people do want to donate. I think they take a lot of pleasure in that and pride in honoring their loved ones. And, hopefully offset the cost. This year we raised almost $5,000 just in letters that we sent out. So thank you for everybody that donated. So there's more information on that to come. So just a couple of updates on what we have going on. May 28th, it's a Sunday. Again, we're going to have the parade. It'll be beginning at 1 o'clock. We're going to form at the bottom of St. Paul Cemetery. You folks are always invited.
Well, thank you.
And encouraged to come. You're part of the guest list. So we'll be sending out invitations. We're also kind of putting the call out this year to our local veterans to participate actually in the parade. We've seen a dwindling number of actual veterans that participate. I certainly understand mobility issues. Nobody gets that more than me. So we're trying to make arrangements between the school with some offers of in the parade itself, as far as some vehicles that hopefully that we can, if one of our veterans would like to join in, they can do so. So again, there'll be more information and invitations going out for that. We will follow up with a luncheon like we do every year at the senior center after this ceremony in West Warren. So then after that, June 14th, we're going to have a flag retirement ceremony like we did last year. We did one back in March. You can have it anytime, but this year we're going to do it on Flag Day. So we're going to take all of our flags once they're replaced.
We just found a bunch of them.
Oh, great.
Also, so.
Hang on to them, Jerry.
Got a bag of them
Good,
in the
good.
office for you.
So what we'll do is, just to quickly back up to Memorial Day, Joe Salvador and the National Honor Society kids, we go out and we place fresh flags on the graves for Memorial Day. So we'll take the ones that are there and we'll retire those in June at the ceremony. June 30th, we're going to, it's a Friday evening, we're gonna partner once again this year with Park and Rec Committee. They've hired a band, and we'll have free hot dogs, soda, chips for veterans, send out tickets like we did last year. Actually, last year was wonderful, so it was a very good turnout, so hopefully we'll have even more this year. And then August 5th, it's gonna be I think our 8th year of doing a Purple Heart recognition. And as you know, over the years, we've lost our Purple Heart recipients. They've passed away, unfortunately. So we have 2 remaining Purple Heart recipients that are in town. So what we thought we would do is just something a little different, is we are going to hold a chicken barbecue at St. Stan's. So that's certainly a little bit pricier than the breakfast that we do, so we're going to offset some of the cost. Some of our veterans will be free, and then family members can buy a discounted ticket. So if anybody's been to one of the St. Stan's barbecues, it's really, really good. So we just thought we'd do something a little different this year.
What date is that?
That's a Saturday night, August 5th.
August 5th. Okay.
Yeah, so actually, I shouldn't say night, because we haven't decided. We're working with St. Stan's on the time. So, but we're thinking maybe later afternoon. So that's all we have. But we got a busy summer, so.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having us help in any way we can.
Oh, did you hear that?
Inviting
He's
us.
gonna help. He's gonna help.
I will help. I will help in any way. You know, if you need me to go down there and do whatever.
Pluck
Flip-
the
I'm
chickens.
in.
Oh, we will.
I know how to pluck chickens. I've done that.
There you go.
But you guys are doing a great job. Thank you very much. And
You're very
our
welcome.
veterans are very important to us.
They absolutely are.
And, you know, I have a special place in my heart for all the veterans and
Yeah.
anybody who served too. And I know they mean just as
The
much
world. Oh,
to
absolutely.
you also, and I
Yeah.
really appreciate that, because it means a lot,
Mhm.
you know, to have somebody acknowledge the sacrifices that have been made. Because a lot of these guys have been gone from home for a long time, missed a lot of things, a lot of key moments in their family, you know, kids growing up, all these things that average people that don't do that don't understand.
Correct.
Those sacrifices. And, you know, it's awesome that you guys still do this. And unfortunately, we see a lot of volunteerism going down within communities, and that's communities all
Oh,
over,
sure.
not just ours. But you guys are still staying steady with it and marching forward, and know it's worthwhile to do. And we really appreciate that. Thank you for everything you guys
You're
do.
most welcome.
And, you know, God bless you both.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you. And you know, it's not just the veteran too, that we are very mindful of, you know, the families answer the call too. And
Yeah.
they're so often forgotten that, oh yeah, so-and-so.
It's very hard on the families.
Yep. Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
hard.
You know, that goes for police and fire too. Every time a town goes in or a call is dispatched, you
Yeah.
know, the entire family answers, so. Anyway, all
Thank
right,
you.
we won't keep any more of your time, so we'll keep those dates in mind, and we'll keep,
Absolutely.
we'll send communication to Karen and Jim, and keep you guys in the loop, and hope
And
to see everybody there, and,
if you have a formal schedule, we can put
Mhm.
that online too.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll put those
Yeah, that would
events
be good.
posted.
with the
Okay.
time and everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
For
yeah.
events.
So all we need is, we just have to, like I said, work with St. Stan's to nail down that time that we're gonna do the barbecue. But like I said, that's a really good event, and they do a wonderful job, so hopefully everybody will come out and see that. And like I said, we're, you know, fundraising all year long again for our wreaths. That'll be in December, but
And that was an amazing event.
it really was. It
That
was wonderful.
I was
We're
very
super proud of that.
Very proud of that
Yeah.
whole thing, and it just like, being able to put wreaths on, you know, the veterans' graves and stuff, it's
Yeah,
humbling.
it really
And-
is.
And it made me feel very proud, and to see all the residents that came together to do it and take pride in doing this. And it was amazing.
Very, very few communities do every grade. We were pretty lucky to be able to do every grade.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, especially first year, so it should be.
First year in a small town.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, we're not a wealthy community at all, but I was just shocked at some of the people that sent in some donations, that I was like, "Oh,
Well, this town, there's no question about it, this town loves the veterans.
they do." Yeah.
And this is truly an American town,
Mhm.
and people live out here for a reason.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
you know, it's amazing, and all your hard work that you
Yeah.
guys do behind the scenes is amazing too.
And like I said, our big push this year for Memorial Day is to get more veterans involved in the actual parade itself. So if you know of anybody,
I'm already thinking of a few people.
As
good.
well as clubs. And,
Yeah, clubs and organizations.
organizations in town.
You know, we would like to really, I remember growing up as a kid in this town, my God, it was forever, the parade, and, you know, and I'm sure the same communities all over the place, they've seen dwindling numbers, but let's try to reverse that, so, and I think we can do it. So,
We absolutely can.
yep, all righty.
Thank you.
Thank you all
Thank
very
you
much for
very
your
much.
time, and we'll be in touch. All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go,
Yep.
Derek.
Oh, sorry, Derek.
Are you gonna include West Brookfield?
We did, we're not gonna have, I don't think, baseball, because baseball and softball combined, the two towns. So last year they did Warren, and, so this year they're gonna do West Brookfield, because they are gonna have a parade this year, so. Obviously, you know, if the baseball kids and softball kids wanna join, we're certainly not gonna say no, but, yeah, so.
Would you like me to extend it to the soccer kids?
Pardon?
Would you like me to extend the invitation to soccer?
Oh, absolutely,
Anything.
absolutely.
Any groups.
Yeah.
And then the two last things, thank you for doing this.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it was you guys who sent me a letter with a sticker
Yep,
and a pen.
yep,
Yep.
that was
Yeah.
us.
Thank you very much for that.
So, yeah,
Well,
so, yeah. Yeah, so anybody, like Rich said, any organizations, clubs, anything that wanna join, just, we'll give you the information, you can put it on the website, and, our contact numbers are there, so, you know, yeah, we'd love to have everybody.
Oh, I forgot.
We could probably reach out to them too, because sometimes it's
we've reached out to
more,
the schools, so.
more when you invite somebody, like invite soccer, invite all
Mhm.
these groups
Mhm.
to come in and do it. You know, unless you guys are already doing that. If you want
No,
us to do it,
I mean,
we
if
can
you
do
guys
it.
Yeah,
want,
we'd love
if you
to do
have
it.
contacts
Okay.
with the soccer, I mean, our kids are out of Quabog, so, but we did, have a conversation with Steve Duff,
Mhm.
and he's putting, the word out up at Quabog, so, but if you.
Sports teams.
If you wanna, if you got a contact, that'd be great.
Okay.
So, you know, we'll have the Boy Scouts again this year, and Mr. Feeney and his crew, so that'll be good. And yes, you can take pictures, yeah.
We'd like to make it as big as possible, so
Yeah.
anybody think of.
There were some really nice
Absolutely.
pictures, that you had taken at Wreaths Across America.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, one of the pictures we took, went in the town report, so, of yours, so,
Excellent.
very good,
That's what I'm here for.
yeah. Very good.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you again.
Thank you. Okay. Next thing on the agenda is discussion and possible vote on the poll hearing for the new poll on Cronin Road. Are
National
we
Grid.
voting on the poll hearing?
This is, we always do.
Hello, this is Don Sager. I just unmuted myself from over the phone.
So is this the poll hearing?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Are you, it's not,
Can
it's
you
the,
folks hear me?
No,
oh, hold on 1 minute.
Sorry.
sorry about that. We're just,
This is just a single pole at the other
One
end.
single
Cronin
call
Road.
by a house.
okay. I just want to make sure this is the
No,
poll hearing.
this is just a
Yeah,
poll
yeah.
hearing for
And it was
one poll.
advertised.
It was advertised, it was everything that I needed to do, all the abutters know everything.
Okay, all right. All right, so we have a representative from National Grid.
Correct, yes.
How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you folks doing?
Good. Can you identify yourself and your position with National Grid for us, please?
Yep, I am the engineer for National Grid. My name is Donald Sager.
Okay. And you're looking at putting just one pole in on Cronin Road, beginning at the point approximately 2,137 feet south of the center line of the intersection of Brad Road. And it will be pole number 35? It would be
Yes,
high
that should
an
be
acre.
pole at the end of this bridge. Correct.
Okay.
What is an SO pole?
So there should be two petitions, one for SO and JO. SO means solely owned by National Grid, and jointly owned, JO means jointly owned. So that's National Grid and whatever telco company, mostly like Verizon and whatnot. So the SO pole at 35 should be at the end of the street
Mm-hmm.
for new customer.
I did not put both of them in there.
There's only the one.
I only put them in. Yeah, both of them, yeah, I'll sign.
Did you, how was the thing worded?
Exactly the same as that one.
Because we can't vote on the JO poll if it's not.
Is this only one pole, sir?
For the SO pole, it is, and then there should be another pole being set. It's a mid-span pole, that is a JO pole. So in total, there's two poles, but one is going to be solely owned at the end of the street. And then further up the road is the JO pole. That is a mid-span pole.
Okay, so how is
We only
it,
There's
have the
two
one
poles.
advertised.
how is it posted and advertised?
Just a minute, and I'll tell you.
Because right now, we're only looking at one pole, sir. And that's
That
the
should
SO
be-
pole, number 35?
That is correct, yes.
It doesn't say how many, it says maintain poles and wire to be placed there on Cronin Road in Warren.
So is the other pole just being a replaced pole? Or is it a
The other
new
pole-
install?
So there should be a pole 40 that is going to be a mid-span pole between 41 and 37.
The plan I see SO pole 35.
Yeah, I
We don't
see
have the
pole
mat
number
on that.
35.
Yeah, we don't have
And the
the-
existing pole number 36 on the plan, we don't have a pole 40.
Okay. Well, we are setting pole 35, that's at the end of the road.
Yep. That's the one we have.
And then there should be, you guys should have gotten another sketch, a petition sketch for a jail pole.
We do not have a sketch for a JO pole.
Yeah, we don't have that, and we don't have,
We do have
Okay.
the petition,
do we?
Yeah.
but there is not a sketch there.
Okay. There's two sketches that I see here, that were sent to me, but, I can see one is for an SO pole, a solely owned pole by National Grid, and there
Yep.
should be another pole further up the road, proposed jail pole 40. This, basically, the jail pole is going to be a mid-span pole. It's gonna be set alongside with the other poles on that road. This is because, National Grid doesn't want, spans of wire to exceed past 150 feet. So between, two poles right now further up the road, it exceeds, it's a long, span of wire over the road, and we don't want that long of a distance. So we're proposing to set a mid-span pole, and that should be the jail pole, to not exceed the wire span of 150 feet. We don't want the wire stagger
Well,
go that long. So yes, you do see pole 35, that is at the end of the road, and then there should be another, sketch for a mid-span pole, and that should be pole 40.
do you have the map for poll 40 available
do
right
have-
now? If
I
I,
do have yes, I'm sorry, I do have a petition sketch, and I could, email it,
How was
so,
this advertised, first of all? Because we might not even be able to go into it.
Well, it's very generic.
It's very generic.
How
It
is
said, let's see, in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 166, Section 20, a public hearing for consent to erect and maintain poles, wires to be placed there on Cronin Road, Warren, Mass. The hearing will be held Thursday, April 27th, 2023, in the Shepherd Building, 48 High Street, Warren, Mass,
Okay.
6 p.m.
Okay, so it covers us then.
Don, if can you bring something up on Zoom if I let you share the screen?
Yeah, I could. Give me 1 second. Let me just save this.
But you didn't put that forward in here, right?
No, because we didn't,
Well, you guys do have the petition sketch for poll 35, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up the poll. Just save this now. Okay. Let me see if I can just upload a share. Go to Dropbox. Let's do this instead. Give me 1 second.
What is the motion for the poll number 40? Because you have like the number of feet and stuff. Oh, we just lost him.
No, he was on his phone, probably going into his computer.
Oh, okay.
Pop it back up.
I assume so.
because I didn't realize there were 2 poles, because I never saw another map.
Right, so, but I need a motion that describes it the way this one does.
Okay. Do you want me to just handwrite it?
Yeah. I mean, it's gotta be some number of feet from something, right?
Right, yep.
Or you can just, if you find it, just. Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
and this has nothing to do with the other two things, about poles,
So
Yeah,
they're
nothing to
in-
do with it.
this is right there.
Yeah, it's this is completely separate. Because that's like, I don't know, 10 poles, 20 poles.
It's in the same location.
Yeah.
Hello, it looks like I just, I don't know, it kicked me out of the meeting, I joined back. I'm gonna share this now, sorry about that. I just want to upload this. Photos.
Looks like it's closer to Bragg Road. Right.
So there are 2 captures, I just, I shared the literature of, the jail petition
So
description,
we
and
have
then
those.
there
We
is
don't
the
have that,
jail
though.
sketch. And basically, it should be Corner Road still, and then it's gonna show the proposed jail pole 40 in reference to the existing pole 41.
Okay, so this is, 40 is north of 36 and 35 then, right? Is that?
That is correct.
Yes.
This pole
Okay.
40 is north of pole 35. It's further up the road. It's the proposed pole 40 would be in between the existing poles 41 and 37. And this would be a midspan pole to address the long wire span between these 2 poles.
Alright. Have any questions?
No.
Do you have any questions?
I don't know, I think I have two of the same orders here. It
You
looks.
do.
Oh, it's,
Number 35?
yeah, I don't see a 40.
Yeah, I didn't see a 40 either in here.
That's
That's why I was
because Karen didn't put
questioning,
it
because I
in.
didn't see a 40.
Yeah, I didn't put them in because
They may have, the person who sent it over may have just sent you like duplicate copies and thought, it was the same, but, based on my record, I do have a sketch, and it shows that there's two poles that are being set. It's just because one is an SO and one's a JO, they're separate.
The public hearing notice that went out though,
Mhm.
it said polls. What you said, right? The public hearing notice that was advertised in the
Says
paper.
polls. There is an S.
Would say we're covered, because polls wasn't singular.
I guess so.
You know,
Well, it's one SO pole and one JO pole.
Right.
And to my understanding, there should be a petition, there should be two petitions, like one petition for each.
There is.
So,
We do have that, we just don't have the map for the JO poll. We have it for the SO poll, which you just brought the
Understood.
JO poll up. So, you know, it's standard, you're just adding some polls in there for a service for a resident, new resident there.
correct.
I'm good.
Okay, all right. So I'll make a motion to give National Grid permission to install.
I would, if anybody would like to help speak on behalf of the matter, or if there's any opposition,
Oh, yeah.
to the matter.
Did you have any questions? You good?
I mean, if it's for a private resident and
It's not the project. This isn't for a solar project, correct?
No, this is
Private
just
resident.
to feed a customer down the street.
A residential property?
To my understanding, yes.
One of the gentlemen,
Is this for a house?
Far as I know, yes, it's.
Kind of beating around the bush
no,
here.
no,
This is a new customer at the end of the road, and we have to, on our part, extend, to give power to them.
one of the people that live on Cronin Road came in and saw me and said, "Oh, this must be for the new house being built."
Okay. All right, does anybody have any questions or objections in the public of the poles being put on Cronin Road? Anybody in Zoom have any questions or concerns about the poles?
Nothing.
Any opposition?
Nope.
Going, done.
All right, we
Everybody's
good?
had their opportunity.
All
I'd
right.
make a motion to close the hearing and then take a vote.
Okay. I'll make a motion to close the poll hearing for the polls on Cronin Road.
second,
All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. The poll hearing is closed. We cannot take on any more information at this point. And are you guys ready to make a vote to authorize?
All right, so I'll make a motion to give National Grid permission to install one SO pole on Cronin Road, beginning at a point approximately 2,137 feet south of the center line of the intersection of Bragg Road, to install the SO pole number 35, the guy and anchor. And then to also install one JO pole on Cronin Road, beginning at a point approximately 1,733 feet south of the center line of the intersection of Bragg Road. And that would be to install JO pole number 40.
Second.
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. You're all set, sir.
Thank you very much, folks. Have a good night.
You too.
Do you want to do all the signatures later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question? On these, the hearing for this, I think it needs to be more specific, maybe? Or is what we did okay?
What do you mean?
You mean in the newspaper?
Yeah.
I just did what we've always done in the newspaper. I've never specified the road, just the road,
Just
not
the
the
road?
poll numbers or anything.
Okay. Okay.
I would agree with you, though, in
Yeah.
the future.
You want me to
Let's
do it in the future more
Be
specific?
more specific,
Okay.
'Cause-
where they would be located, if we
Okay.
have an address, if they're gonna be in front of somebody's property.
Okay,
Yeah.
Because I would be concerned if somebody was putting a pole in front of my house, but you don't really know if it's going in front of your house, if it's just saying, oh, it's being put on the road.
Yeah, Cronin Road is a big road,
It's a
right?
big road.
You know,
We're on the
that's,
road.
yeah, they had a couple
Yeah.
people come in and ask me specifically where,
yeah,
so,
I think we need to
But
be
if we
more-
can put it in the paper, in the
Okay.
advertisement,
Yeah.
and put it out there so we know, and we'll ask them, okay, I understand you have a drawing here, but what address is it here? Who's the abutter to that pole?
well, I have all the abutter lists, they send me that,
Okay,
Hmm.
but that's everybody abutting on the road.
correct.
The
There
one
should be an
that's-
actual house
The
address.
one the one that pole's
The
going in
client.
front of their house.
Okay,
Yeah.
Because I usually Google the project,
Yeah.
but here it was just a road, and I'm like, where is this? I look at the
Well, this
plan,
is
and
typically
it's-
how they do it, but we can ask more information in the future. We should say, okay, let's get a little more specific instead of
okay,
throwing up 3 lines and saying that's the road and we're putting a pole here, somewhere in there.
Yeah, especially for
Yeah.
the residents, you know, they.
Yeah,
they should know where
I'd be
it's going.
concerned, I'd wanna know exactly where it's going. So, it's National Grid and it's hard to justify not doing it because it's putting out service, electrical service, everybody needs electrical service. But it's just more information, it makes it, the residents better educated on it, so.
okay, I'll put more information on the newspaper article.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, whenever they send you these things, ask them to put addresses, well,
At least an address where
street
the poll,
addresses
okay.
where this is going.
Yeah,
You know, if it's
somebody,
in the middle of the woods, I could understand 800 feet from the big rock, you know, or at the end of the intersection. But, you know, there's a lot of people that live, you know, on Cronin Road, so it's probably sitting somewhere on somebody's property somewhere. All right. So we good? Moving on?
Mhm.
Are you good with that too?
Yes,
Getting more
sir.
information? Yes, Brock? Okay. And now we're gonna have a presentation by Whip City Fiber for possibly providing high-speed internet service to the town residents. Sir, are you with Whip City Fiber?
Yes, I am, yeah.
How you doing, sir?
Very well, thank you.
If you
Thanks
can
for having
please
me.
identify yourself and your
Sure.
position with the company?
Yep, so my name is Andrew Short. I'm a key account sales manager with Whip City Fiber. Whip City Fiber is a subsidiary of Westfield Gas and Electric. And Westfield Gas and Electric is the municipal utility for the city of Westfield. Recently, we attended the MMA
Mhm.
seminar, and Jim and Rich at the seminar, and I want to thank them for bringing me here this evening just to give you a little bit of information about our company and what we do. With that being said, so Whip City Fiber is an internet provider, internet ISP, network operator. So what we provide is service to the home. And that means that we own the router, and the town actually owns the system. So what that means is we have the ability to, if there's troubleshooting required, we can go into the home, we can go into the address and help that resident out. In the last few years, we've expanded our territory mainly into the hill towns, into the Berkshires. Governor Baker was instrumental in providing the funding and impetus to get that done. We supply about 23 communities right now and about 15,000 residents. Whip City Fiber, as I say, is based in Westfield, and all of our customer service, all of our support, everything is in Westfield. So if you're looking to contact somebody, you're not looking at a number that could be throughout the country somewhere, it's right there. We have our own tech teams, we have our own engineering, and we have our own design. So essentially what we would do is we would partner with the community, provide you with the engineering and the schematics as far as where service is going to go, and then work with utilities, in this case National Grid. As you heard, they own the poles. So we would do the pole applications, we'd help you with the pole applications there, and we walk you through the process. So it's not just a situation of you being alone, we're going to partner with you all the way through.
Okay.
Questions?
Now, do you have a PowerPoint or something that we can throw up for people?
I didn't bring one this evening, but I can get you a PowerPoint. I thought this evening we'd do something fairly low-key.
Informal.
See if there's any questions. You know, it would be great if we could schedule a follow-up meeting where we could invite you to our operations center and we can show you around and show you exactly what we do.
Okay. That'd be great.
So
That'd be cool.
I did bring some information here.
So this is basically to allow residents to have an option of high-speed internet provided through the town via your company. Is that
Yeah,
right?
so essentially the town becomes an MLP, Master Limited Partner. And so we're doing business with the MLP. Now the MLP owns the infrastructure in the town, so it's fiber optic infrastructure and the MLP owns that. What we own is just the router. So we're providing you the service, but it's your plant. Yeah,
And would we have a location? Would we have to put a location for something like a center or something that it would be distributed from
yeah,
to our residents?
exactly. So you'd have what we call a hut. And what would happen is the hut would take in from the signal, and then we would disperse that out to the individual residents.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And would the town be paying for putting in the lines?
Yeah, so typically the town's gonna take a bond and to help finance the project
Okay.
and then cover the cost of the infrastructure, and then they're gonna charge monthly. So we would charge the town or the MLP monthly,
Mhm.
and then the MLP would decide what they're gonna charge the resident for the service.
So the residents would be getting a bill from the town?
So we handle the billing.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, the residents can't pay us. We're a municipal, and you're a municipal, so we would be doing business. We would bill the resident on your behalf. They pay you, and we just send you a bill for the total at the end of the month. So
Okay.
you take it in and then we bill.
So on an average, how much would a high-speed internet service cost a resident in town?
So it varies. In Westfield, it's $69 per resident. In some of the hill towns, it's around $89 per resident. So you would set that fee schedule. We would be charging a lower amount to you, and then obviously there's a delta there that you could then use to fund your system and support your system.
Okay. Yeah, because you'd have to pay for some sort of maintenance plan or something that the town would be doing?
Yeah, there's going to be upgrades required and maintenance and so on, yeah.
Okay.
But what we found is our service is, it's a gigabyte of speed. So right now, I don't know what residents are receiving here right now, but maybe it's around 200 to 300 megabytes. This is a gig, and it's symmetrical up and down. So it's a high, super high speed. And what we found in some of the partnering communities is, if you look at like an Otis and a Beckett, a lot of their residents are seasonal.
Mhm.
And what we found is they're actually staying on in the community longer, because now with the remote work, I mean, I guess it's one of the things that came out of COVID was the ability now to work remotely. And companies are used to their employees being able to work remotely. So this enables that, those towns to have residents more throughout the year, so it increases the revenues that are coming into the town. So we've seen that as an unintended benefit of the high-speed internet.
Okay. Now, I know you want to ask a whole bunch of questions, because you're the kind of the techie guy, so.
Let's hope I can answer it for you.
I'm trying to be quiet.
No, I ask, please.
Well, you said it is about $80 for a gigabyte of internet?
So you would decide what you wanted to charge. What I see is most of our partner communities are charging around $89 for a gig service.
Or we could charge less.
You could charge whatever you want, yeah.
But we need.
So if we
something
wanted to
over.
charge them $30 for a
Be
gig,
underwater.
we'd be under the water. Alright.
Yeah, so we might be charging you just for a number, say $35. And then if you were charging $89, so that would be the balance coming back into your MLP.
But we gotta look into maintenance and everything else.
Yeah,
And then,
Because it has to be able to sustain itself.
correct. Yep.
and a cost at the beginning. Is there a cost related? for the
Yeah,
town?
so that's the bonding process. So you would need a bond to be able, as a funding tool, to be able to start with the poll applications, which is where we go to a national grid and we count all the polls, and then we have to submit to them because we've got to put line up on that poll. And then in the case of the joint owned, we're going to have to go to Verizon, or is it Comcast that you have
Mhm.
here, or
Mhm.
Spectrum. So we might have to go to them too if they join on the poll. So there is costs up front, and then of course there's the cost of the hut itself.
So,
So what's a startup cost generally for a town?
Yeah, it depends. So, the huts, I think they're somewhere between $500,000 and $600,000 for the hut. So you're probably looking at a bond of, it's hard to say, but it's going to be over $1 million, I imagine.
Okay.
So if we have about 1,300 households in Warren,
Mhm.
and they're all spread out,
Right.
what will be, I'm just trying to see how big of a picture, if even we can do this, right?
Yeah, so what we would, as I say, as a follow-up to this meeting here, what we'd like to do is actually have you come out to our operations center and we can take your community and show you exactly how each section of the community could be served, what the cost would be, so we can provide you with all of that information, and then you would have a much better idea as if you want to go forward or if you want to stay where you are. So there is, I would say you probably want to be looking at about a 50 to 55% take rate. So of your 1,300 homes, 600 take it, 500 or 600, and then it's a worthwhile venture.
But what if some users are happy with what they have right now, and we don't get all households, we get 50% of the people in town?
Yeah, and that's why I say, at 50%, then it's a value to the community. Not everybody's going to change. What we saw in the hill towns is the take rates were up in the 90%, but that was because they didn't have anything. What we see in, say, Westfield right now, we're seeing at about a 55% take rate. So, it's a good point. Not everybody's going to do it.
What about the chances of, we are talking about 1 gig, 1,000 for about $80. What about 200 for $25 or something like that? Is that possible?
We don't actually do that. No, it's just, that's the speed.
And when I'm connected and I do a test, that's what I get?
Well, that's a good question too. I mean, we're putting a gig in. Now, depending on what's inside the home or what you're connecting to, that can slow things down as well. So sometimes you're not going to see always the full gigabyte speed.
What about putting hotspots on specific points of the town so people can just,
It's a good question for the engineers. Typically, what we've done is run fiber throughout the town.
So we don't have good cell service, and like, especially like downtown. So could this network be used to enhance cell service or do like Wi-Fi calling? I guess Derek's
That's
point,
where
like a
I'm going.
hotspot situation where,
Like VoIP,
Yeah.
well,
Like
it's,
VoIP
you know,
phones?
if there was like a transmitter on the old town hall and you could connect to that as you were coming through town.
one in West Warren,
Yeah, West Warren's got pretty good service, at least with AT&T though.
nothing with Verizon. I get
Oh,
sick, I
okay.
can't do anything in West
So at
Warren.
least if you could do like Wi-Fi in those spots.
I think it's more internet provider,
Yeah, we-
not self.
Well, it wouldn't
Wi-Fi
be
is
cell.
internet.
I'm sure there are technologies. What I can do is get back to you on that, as far as whether we can.
Because I would be really happy if we can get a very low-cost solution for residents,
Yeah.
because, you know, I pay around $80 for 700 megabytes, so it's
Mhm.
almost a giga, so it,
Is that
close,
with Comcast?
yeah.
Is it?
I was gonna say, are they
No, it's
comparable?
not symmetrical. So I was gonna say, I have the 1.2 gig service, and it's 35 meg up, which is a big difference than the 1 gig up that you would have.
Yeah.
And I'm paying 106 a month.
Yeah,
So
So even if we charged on the higher end, we'd be getting a better service
Yeah,
You're getting.
than Comcast.
Yeah, so, you know, in this case, you know, you'll see Comcast and other providers say X speed, but the download and upload are two different speeds.
yeah.
And in this case, 35 megs up. And what we're saying is our service is symmetrical, so it's the same up, same down.
And I can't say that I've ever measured 100 or 1200 meg.
How much are we getting here now?
I don't know, I'd have to do.
Just open on your computer, if you just open Google and do a speed test, it will tell you. Over here, the Wi-Fi with my phone, it's about 25, 24.
What do you do, speed test?
Just write speed test. Yeah.
So with this service, we could decide, so if we have municipal services, we can decide not to charge the municipal services then.
Yeah, so the MLP is your business, and you decide how you want to use it.
Here we go.
Yeah, the speed in this building stinks.
So we're looking
21.
6.
So, I mean, with this, we would be able to get gig service in here, which apparently we can't get with Comcast. And then we could do VoIP in this building too, if we wanted to.
And would support VoIP, because we can't do VoIP now.
No,
21
with our
is so
stuff.
little.
yeah.
And then you've got, you know, you can encourage small businesses if they're looking, you know, you can rent space because now you've got access. So
Definitely there will be a big, sort of like reach out to the community to see if this, you know, if there's interest in doing this. and,
Right.
You know.
My thing would be is if we can provide it to them, a better service at a lower cost,
Mhm.
because again, Comcast is, it's expensive.
Even if it's the same service, but a lower cost.
Yeah.
So we can help you with the marketing and surveys. We can put surveys out to the community, and, you know, start to help you generate interest, lawn signs, you know, door hangers, whichever pieces you need. But we can help you with that as well, as far as generating interest in the project.
Now, there is broadband money, like through ARPA there was money,
Mhm.
there's the Mass Broadband Institute.
Yep.
So how have other communities paid to get this going? I mean,
Right,
did
yeah,
everybody
so
do
there was a
bond?
fair amount of funding, especially up in the Berkshires, up in hill towns, and so a
Yeah.
lot of those communities were able to get some of that funding.
Okay.
And there's still money being presented.
Okay,
There's just been an award of $14 million here in the state. It's mainly eastern part of the state, but Bay State Health is doing a grant as part of this. So, you know, I think with the current administration and the IRA Act, there is money.
Mhm,
It's
yeah.
just, you know, it's got to be applied for, so, you know, we can help you there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you help us,
Absolutely.
not necessarily, maybe not write the grant itself,
Right,
but just
point you in the right
identify.
direction.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, exactly, identify the sources and stuff. Okay.
So what do you feel?
So I think this is definitely something that, we could look into a little bit further. There's definitely going to be a need for an educational piece,
Yeah.
and kind of getting it out to the townspeople and the residents to see if there's an interest.
Mhm.
Because if there's no interest, it's not going to work.
Right.
This is an idea when we had come across this section at the MMA, this is another option as opposed to just having, a single stream Comcast, only having one option. This is maybe another option that the town residents may want to consider as a possible solution to higher speed and maybe a little lower cost. And if we were able to own the infrastructure with it, that may be, in the long run, something better and transformative for the town.
Yeah, I think so. And I think long-term, access to internet, access to high speed and data, it's the world we live in now. And I think it's a benefit to some of the communities that have been underserved in the past. But I think what would be great is, to set something up where, we can really provide you with some better numbers, some real sort of feeling about what the community could be looking at, and also introduce you to some of the players at our facility.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that.
Mhm.
I'd like to see the numbers and see what we can, because if we can get some state aid to help and do this where we don't have to get a bond to pay for something like this, that could definitely help the residents, because if we're going in here and we're going in and we're saying, okay, it's paid for. All we need is subscribers, and we could set the cost and we could set it low. Because again, we just gotta look at cost of maintenance for it, and what that would look like. So we may be able to do on the lower end versus charging $80, $89 a month for the service. We could charge on the $60 or around about there for the service. Because again, our town we have a lot of people living below the poverty level, and we want to provide them with the best services they can have and options. And we still have to keep those costs down. It doesn't make sense if we bring you guys in and we do this and the internet's costing them more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're just not gonna get on board with that.
Right, because it's our system, we could be creative, so if you're,
We have to cover
60
some costs too. So that's why I was saying, if we could get at least, most of the people in town are getting 3 bytes per second, believe it or less. So, and they pay between $50 and $100 for that. So if we can get for $40, 20 or 30 megabytes per second, that'll be great for the residents.
Yeah, but they don't do that.
I know.
They charge for the gig.
Yeah.
It's a gig.
yeah, it's just a
Exactly,
gig.
yeah. So on the income, there's two programs, the ACP and Lifeline. So Lifeline's more about the phone, and that's, I think it's $10. And the ACP is a $30 credit. So for a family that is on the lower side of income, there are opportunities for them to still get the same access, but at a lower cost.
Okay. And is that like a state thing?
I think it's federal, yeah.
Okay.
But we can also be creative with what we charge people too, right? As the
If you
town.
wanted to do some sort of tiered structure, I imagine
Yeah.
you could, yeah.
I mean, we could have a discount for seniors or for
Yeah.
low income, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, but the purpose of charging a little bit more is to help pay down the debt, right?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
there's
but
gonna
if
be
you
some
do it
debt.
without incurring a debt.
Well, yeah.
We haven't seen that.
You
Most
haven't
folks,
met us
yeah,
yet.
they've.
We can get creative. We got an awesome town administrator, and I know we can pull off some miracles.
Yeah, but, you know, there is gonna be some financial outlay. You're gonna have to factor in maintenance, you're gonna have to factor in, what if there's a storm comes through, knocks down part of the system, we're gonna send people out, fix it, but then there's a cost to that. So you do have to think about these ongoing maintenance costs as well. So, it's great to be able to offer a tiered supply, but you've still got to think about paying for the system.
How long would it take to roll this out in the town?
Yeah, so it's not a quick process.
I can imagine, yeah.
You're probably in the realm of 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
From the time you establish the MLP.
Mhm.
So by the time you become a municipal lighting plant, that was the P. So once you're an MLP, it's about 2 to 3 years from that.
Yeah.
So we have to go, like you said, we go to National Grid and we have to count every pole and we have to submit that, but we do that.
Okay.
By then, 1 gig is gonna be nothing.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
what
good,
would-
it's a good
Well,
point.
they're already looking at what, 15,
Well, we're looking at 10 right now.
10?
10 gig?
On the backside, we're starting to look at 10.
So you may, by the time this kicks off, you may be at 10.
We may have that option, yeah.
And does the fiber you're putting in now support 10 gig?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
And
it's-
you're doing fiber, not,
Yeah, fiber.
Yes, fiber, yeah.
Like Comcast, mine
you can
is
support a
coax.
lot.
Yeah.
right?
It may be fiber on the street though, with Comcast?
It could be, depends where they're taking it off, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it could be, MBI does have some trunk lines, and maybe they're taking something off of that, but,
Okay.
but we're all fiber, and it can handle it.
And so it would be fiber to the house too,
Yeah,
right?
It's fiber to the home.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
It's a good thing that we should look into it.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. Anything we can do to give the residents a better service at a cheaper cost
Yeah,
and give them an option. Because I know a lot of people, Comcast is the only game in town,
right.
and they're not happy with that.
So we should point out, this is internet,
Yes.
not cable TV.
No.
So if you're like totally tied to, I don't know, whatever's on, like reruns of whatever on some
But this would
channel.
also give people the opportunity to have better options for TV services.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of streaming
Right.
that you
Roku.
can get
Yeah.
that's cheaper than doing cable and gives you more advantages to choosing what you watch. If somebody watches something like, well, I only watch the History Channel. Well, just stream the History Channel, and that's all you're paying for.
Yeah,
Instead of paying $200 for a cable bill,
cable and internet.
cable and
right?
internet,
Yeah,
you're only paying one fee and paying the streaming service and getting that one channel that you watch all the time. You can be more selective of what you're watching. I know a lot of the cities, people are more into that.
Mhm.
And it would also, like you said, with people working at home, provide people the ability to work from home easier, because right now, I don't even have internet where I live. And I don't have Comcast or anything else. So I have none of that service. And I don't foresee you guys running any lines up to my house unless I pay for them also, so.
well, no, I think that's the point, is we're gonna reach areas that may not have it right now. I mean,
Yeah,
If that's possible, I don't know.
but I couldn't see that bill. Yeah, it's probably not happening to us.
What about
But
phone
others.
service? Could
So,
we do-
so we do a residential phone service.
Okay.
So that is an option. And we also have range extenders within the home, depending on the home. Some homes, depending on construction or even size, might want range extenders, Wi-Fi extenders. So we do offer those as well.
Okay.
So there's a lot of options behind it as well, but, to your point about streaming, this is what a lot of folks are moving to now, is getting off of the standard service given to them and deciding what they want, and this would give them that option.
I see a lot of people complaining, like, I don't even want half these channels. Can I take them off my bill?
Yeah.
And no, you're getting a package deal, that's
Yeah,
it.
you get-
You get it all or nothing. And that's how the cable companies do it. But then they also do, a lot of them are going to streaming services, the
Mhm.
cable companies. But you need to have internet that supports that.
Right.
And we don't have that infrastructure to do that right now.
Yeah.
I'm definitely interested, I'd like to know more.
Yeah.
So, I'll continue to work with Jim, and, what we'll do is set something up, say, how's the schedules? Is this budget season, or is budget season finished?
After town meeting would be
Yeah.
good.
Town meeting's May 2nd, I saw, so.
May
9th.
9th, okay. So maybe towards the end of May, beginning of June, something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a chance you can take some questions from the public if there's any?
In those meetings, typically, it's just us, but if you want to bring some questions that the public has.
Does anybody have any questions? Bev?
Oh, here.
Oh,
I'm
he
sorry.
missed it.
Here.
Oh, tonight, I apologize.
Bev, do you have any questions? No? Joe? No.
Okay.
Jerry? No? Anybody on Zoom have any questions?
Nope,
Okay. Do you have any more questions?
I don't think so. I'm definitely interested though.
Yeah? No? Sir?
Say that's right.
Karen? Well, pretty much a kind of an inquisitive group here, we just want to see what you can do and how much it's gonna cost.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and we don't want to, we want to make sure we're clear and upfront on everything. So I think this is what the next meeting should be, is much more about the nuts and bolts. So, let's do that.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes, sir.
may, Andrew, one question I did have is that the communities that you've gone into and you're currently servicing, were those communities that had another option as well? Like, did they have Comcast or were these communities that had absolutely nothing?
So, in the hill towns like your Cummingtons, your Coleraines, those type of communities, they didn't have anything. So they were using, their cell signals. In Westfield, there's Comcast, and that's why I say the take rate in the hill towns was around about 99%. It was huge. In Westfield, it's about 55%, so it is less. And that's why we base, if the MLP is worthwhile, it needs to be around that 50%.
Okay.
But their populations too are much more sparse too.
So like New Ashford, for instance, I think there's less than 100
Yeah.
on the system. And then you get to an Otis or a Beckett, and there's 1,600. So it really does
So
vary.
if there's less than 100, that you service them,
Yeah.
and there's less than 100?
How on earth did they pay for that?
I know.
I wasn't there.
Well, that'd be good to find out, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. But they
There's
did-
one
they-
resident that's a millionaire
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
No, but they bonded, and then, like you say, there was
Must
money
be less
available.
infrastructure that you have to build
Yeah,
out, right?
True, and also they were able to receive some funding as well, so.
Okay. Well, we're definitely gonna need that funding.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not sure what funding's available right now, but that's certainly a conversation.
If you do have any clues on that or anything, maybe we could reach out to some of these other towns that have done this and gotten some funding,
Mhm.
see what they got, and then I'd reach out to Todd too.
Yeah.
Now, another thing, Andrew, have you ever had a community that maybe would partner with a neighboring community and go in together on something like this, like a kind of like a regional type of?
We haven't,
No.
no, and, sometimes the way the fibers run across communities, sometimes that has created a partnership, but they're still individual MLPs, that they're not partnered MLPs.
Okay.
Or a regional thing or something.
Bless you.
Bless you.
So for instance, West Warren, or I heard Brookfield, if these are neighboring communities, maybe that's something to consider.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Anybody
thank
else have any more questions? Well, thank you very much, sir, for your presentation. Let's
Yeah,
figure out some more
definitely.
and
And I'll leave you
get some numbers.
this here. I think you've got some of it already, but I'll leave this with you, Jim.
Sure.
Thank you again for your time, and I'll look to set something up around the end of May, beginning of June.
Yeah, that's good.
Sounds good, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you very much.
Hmm? Oh, need a break? right, we're gonna take a 5-minute break. We're gonna start up again here. All right. So, discussion and possible vote on petty cash for the town clerk office. So they're just looking for petty cash for stamps and things like that.
Yep.
And this is all underneath the new petty
Petty
cash
cash
policy that we have established. Okay. Do you have any questions, Lloyd?
Nope, I'm fine with it.
No, sir.
Okay, motion?
Motion to allow the town clerk office to have petty cash in the amount of $50.
Second.
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay, number 4, discussion and possible vote on petty cash for the Selectmen office. And this is the amount of $100. And again, this is for stamps and things like that,
Certified mail.
certified mail. Great. Do you have any questions? Lloyd?
No?
No, sir.
Okay, motion?
Motion to allow Selectmen's office to have petty cash in the amount of $100.
Second.
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Discussion and possible vote to reestablish the petty cash account for the Office of Building and Planning. And watch what they're asking for.
$100.
Guess that's, yeah, there's nothing. So that's for $100 also. And same thing for mailing and sending out things, posting things, certified.
Why is this one worded differently from the other two?
So they have an existing account that
Oh.
has been established for some time. So It's going to call their current account in, they'll be audited on their current account, and then it'll be reissued by the treasurer. The ones that you had before, there was no really anything really establishing those in the
So new pay.
new accounts.
Okay, all right.
Any question? Any questions?
No,
Motion to reestablish a petty cash account for the building and planning office for the amount of $100.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay, review and possible vote to approve the draft of the RFP for feasibility study of construction of a new public safety municipal complex. Okay. Mr. Ferrari, you have a
Thank you. Yep.
presentation? for us?
Sure. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, before you tonight is just a draft, as has been discussed for some time now. We were a recipient of a state grant from the Executive Office of Administration and Finance to conduct a financial feasibility study for identifying the costs associated with construction of a public safety / municipal complex in town. This was a grant from the Community Compact grant cycle that had come by, and the town was a recipient of that grant. We applied for that in the fall. We were awarded that early winter, and now we're going out for to get licensed professionals, design professionals, to conduct this feasibility study. Now, under this type of study that will be conducted, you don't necessarily have to go out to bid for these types of services. These are exempt under 30B. But I think it's critically important to have a transparent and a thorough process to try to vet qualified licensed professionals to provide this service on behalf of the town and to get a well-established feasibility study. This study will focus in on the financial costs and the potential savings associated with the potential construction of a new complex. So they will be looking at, what will it cost to build a complex like this? What are the potential savings by consolidating these buildings? To look at all of the costs associated with this type of project, to provide this as a tool to educate the taxpayers and the residents of the town as to what are the costs associated with taking on a project like this. I would anticipate engineers, registered design professionals, architects will be hopefully submitting proposals for this particular type of project, because in order to understand the costs associated with this, we will have to get licensed professionals who are licensed that have done these types of studies in the past. If you take a look at it, this is not something that's foreign to these types of entities. These would be, these types of studies have been done in many communities across the Commonwealth. I'm hopeful that we get a pool of qualified respondents, but I do have to inform the board, it is very difficult out there right now. There's a lot of business that is out there. There's a lot of money that is on the streets, let's say, of communities having, a lot of requests out there in companies such as architects, engineers, registered design professionals have a lot of work, and they don't have a lot of staff, and it's just like any other type of industry out there. There's a shortage of people that are looking to do this type of work and who are qualified to do this type of work. So I'm hopeful that we will get, respondents. I'd like to get this out there as soon as possible. give enough, time for people to respond. I'm looking that, if you guys want to look this over and say, next week, if you want to, decide and it's okay, if you want to make some modifications. One thing that I may want to think about adding in the specifications or in the scope is just a little bit of the background of, why we're looking to do this type of study, just to give a little history on it for people. It's not necessary, but I think I may want to add that in, a little history of why we're at this position to be looking for this type of study, and to get it out there. So if you guys were to look at it, if I was to update, give a little bit of history on the scope, and to get it, out there, if we got it approved at next meeting, this would go out, right before town meeting vote, and hopefully that we can, get it back by, the June 14th date, give people, like 30 days to respond, over 30 days. I think that would be, acceptable.
So you time to review, or review?
I have a question.
Sure.
So number 2, purchase description,
We're
there's no
about,
page numbers, so it's
Okay, yeah.
Roman numeral 2.
Roman number 2, yeah.
So it says, soliciting proposals at the following specified locations, town-owned land.
Mhm.
I don't know, do we want to limit this to town-owned land? I mean, wouldn't we want to just open it up if the study identifies another piece of land?
Well,
It's more suitable, I guess, or,
well, I guess we could either leave it open, or we could, leave it at town-owned land, or leave it to, depending on the size of how much it's going to, we're gonna need. If the study comes back and says, well, based on what you're looking to do, you're gonna need, 4 acres of land, 5 acres of land, 10 acres of land, you may wanna leave it open, and not be so specific. I just thought, town-owned land first, as opposed to, going to
that's
purchase.
fine. I'm just thinking the only,
Yeah, I don't wanna limit us because we might have to acquire land to do this. And
right, the only piece we have is by the dump, the highway barn.
highway barn, yeah.
I don't know that we have any big pieces of land, so it's, right away, it's kind of limited to that
Mhm.
one spot maybe. But if we open it
I
up.
would, I would leave it more open,
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
because the purpose of this is identify how much land do we need?
right,
And, is this something, like, if we get, we're gonna have to purchase land, say, somewhere else in town? Because, again, it'd be nice if they look at the property that we have close to the highway barn, but if it's to a point where, okay, to develop that and get that, it's gonna cost the town a lot more money to do.
mhm,
Because of clearing and, leveling the land and stuff. We don't know, the hills there, they look like hills, but it could be solid bedrock too.
sure,
And that's gonna cost the town a lot of money to start chopping into bedrock to level off land. If we can get something that's easier. It also I'd like it to be more centralized within the communities too. So West Warren and Warren, potentially between the schools.
mhm,
So either way, they have a short distance. Doesn't make it sense if you take the public safety complex and you place it all the way at the other end of the town, and then the guys have to respond from there all the way to the other side of the town or to the school. It just takes longer.
So maybe we will, try to be as generic as possible and just say, hey, look, I'm sure that what will transpire is, once somebody is selected to do this, they're going to, come down to the existing space of both the police and fire, and possibly even this building as well, and find out how much space is needed. They're gonna do an assessment of all of that, and then they're gonna say, okay, you need X amount of square feet, was it 10,000 square feet, 20,000 square feet? And this is what it's gonna cost to build out for this. And they're gonna tell you the exact square feet per foot, how much it's gonna cost, and they'll map it out. And they're gonna say, okay, based on what your needs are, you're gonna need 5 acres of land, 4 acres of land, 10 acres of land. And then we'll have a better roadmap as to how we're going to go to get to this municipal complex. Whether it be town-owned land or whether it's John Smith who owns property in town that we may have to look to try to acquire to build something like this and the costs associated with it. So you'll see what it's gonna cost to build, and then hopefully, maybe there's town-owned land that we have that would, that would fit that box, but if it's not, then you have to look at acquiring land,
Yeah. Yeah,
And throughout this whole process, I would definitely want the chiefs involved in this whole thing.
Oh, yeah, they would have to,
We need their input.
They would have to
They
work
need to
with
know.
the registered design professional and all of
And,
that.
and to be honest, we could probably save a little bit of money with Jerry's office, because we'd probably get like 5 square feet by 5 square feet, or something like that.
No private bathroom.
no more swimming pool.
Yeah. It's gone, sorry.
So, obviously, yes, the chiefs would be heavily involved in the process, basing it on, they would be working with the design professionals to tell them what their needs are. As Adam had indicated, the size of his trucks, the size of his ambulances, making sure that they would fit in a long-term, solution for this problem. Looking at the municipal complex, trying to see if, can we fit maybe within this footprint, or maybe there's a space that, we could also have laid out for the future growth. That may be just there for us to maybe possibly build in the future an addition on to the building. Maybe if we can't do it all at once, or it's too costly to do it all at once, but maybe we can plan, well, this is exactly where, if we want to put municipal offices over here, we have this for the future, but in the interim, we have our public safety complex up and running. Just planning for the future, kind of setting us up.
Yeah.
In the meantime, to do your homework, I would highly recommend that you and Adam and Jim start touring some of these public safety complexes within the communities and see what they have, because they may have already thought of these things, or may turn around and say, something, we built a beautiful complex, but we really wish we had this.
Exactly.
Because this is the one thing we didn't think
forgot.
about. We didn't think about, and this could be helpful. And if we could have that information, so when you go in front of these guys or whoever and talk to them, you say, these are our criteria. This is what we need in this building, and they will design that or look at what that's gonna cost and if we can do that. But it helps if you do your homework a little bit. And I know you guys have looked at some complexes.
Yep.
But definitely get with whoever, make contacts. You're great for that.
So Chief, to piggyback off the chairman, we just, I've been in contact with some, actually, the city of Westfield it just sent out an RFP about 4 or 5 months ago to do their feasibility study. They're looking to, get some of their quotes in, and I don't know where they are in the process right now, but their study maybe by the time we get this out, might have come back, so we could check with them, check with North Brookfield. They just opened up their new police station, some.
Munson also.
Munson
did one right
did a
after the
whole-
tornado.
Did a whole municipal complex, so they have police, fire, and the municipal offices are all in one. And then, having these people do this feasibility study will also potential savings. So if you were to consolidate all of these buildings in an energy efficient building, what are the savings are gonna be to the residents and to the taxpayers? possibly getting, this building onto the tax rolls, whether it be, condos or apartments or something like that. If that was the case, getting the public safety all into one building, and then looking at, the fire station and both stations, do we need to have those, continually? Can we get those back on the tax rolls?
Yeah.
Somebody may be interested in an old firehouse and turning it into a condo or an apartment. or
Weird,
something.
they turned their old fire station into was it tree service?
Tree service,
So,
they
Oh,
bought
where,
that.
no, they do like HVAC.
or HVAC.
Yeah.
Somebody may want to run a company out of there or something.
Yeah, it's perfect with those space and everything.
So, there's all that possibility here. So this study the goal is to give us an idea as to a roadmap, a cost, and analysis done by somebody who's professionally qualified to do it.
Very good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna change some of that stuff, just
Yeah.
take a look at this, and then we can revisit and hopefully get it out, for a final vote for next week.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. Vote for next week.
May I?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I've been an architect for more than 35 years, and I've done this type of studies many times, lots of them. We all know what we want, we all know what we need, and it's excellent, and we're getting excited to see how everything is going, what we need and everything. But what we need here is a study that will justify what we need. And the main idea is with that justification, because we can say, yeah, we need this, we need that, we can do it here, we can do it. But somebody else, it's outside from Warren, has to come and tell us, you guys, you need this. And by saying that, it has to be a lot of it, not only how much it costs, but with this study, is the justification of how we can get funding to do it. That's the most important thing. It's why we need this. We all know, we live here, we know it. But it needs to tell us, this is what you need and these are your options. Then, because if we concentrate, how much it's gonna cost us, how much it's gonna be, where is it gonna be, it doesn't matter if there's not a very strong justification to do this.
Yes.
Okay.
Agree. Good point, thank you.
Very good.
Do you have any more questions?
No.
You good, sir?
I'm good.
Anything else? So, next meeting. Okay, warrants and bills.
All right, I'll make a motion to pay the following warrants. Number 94 payroll, $52,551.05. Number 95 vendor, $28,816.49. Number 96 payroll, $54,427.17. Number 97 vendor, $924,355.68.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Bills.
Make a motion to pay the following bills. Jim Dusty Constable, $40. W.B. Mason, $971.94. Associated Building Wreckers, $625. Warren Water District, $166.92. Kelco, $57.40. Aaron Dusty Postage, $50.13. Easy True Value, $58.97. Verizon, $17.48. The copier leasing, $1,273.31. Select Print Solutions, $2,499. Maya, $367. Minuteman Trucks, $500. Comcast, $20.30.
Second,
I'm sorry, what's the Minuteman trucks for?
So, the Minuteman trucks, I believe that is for the, deductible for when the fire engine was, in an accident. That's from Allegiant Trucks.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they billed us for what we would have.
The deductible.
Yeah.
So you second it?
Second.
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion's passed unanimously, the bill's passed unanimously. Okay. Minutes, we have none this week, we still will review them. And town administrator report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. It's been a very busy week. Obviously, we've been working on the RFP for the feasibility study with the police. But since our last meeting, we had our RFP come back for the EDA grant. Unfortunately, there was some interest by several companies, but nobody had submitted a proposal. So I'm in the process of working with EDA, Deb Bevan directly, to help identify this. I know that our grant was up to, the EDA awarded us up to $280,000 with a match of $70,000, which would bring us to right around $350,000. You know, looking at comparisons for master planning, I think we could be less than the, way under the $250,000 mark on something like this, which really wouldn't require us to have a formal RFP process. Again, I'm trying to get as competitive of a price for the town as possible and having a transparent process. It is my goal now to, you know, work with the people who had expressed some interest to kind of get some quotes, pre-written quotes, and hopefully that they would come in less than the $250,000. And that's a federal requirement. So if it's less than $250,000, you can get 3 written quotes, and we could select a qualified licensed professional to do something like this for master planning. So I had reached out to Weston and Sampson, who had expressed some interest. Ty and Bond had expressed some interest. There was another firm from Rhode Island that expressed some interest, and one from the Boston area that expressed some interest. So I'm hopeful that, you know, somebody will at least give us some quotes. I've been contacted them already. I haven't gotten any quotes back, but again, companies are jammed packed with work, and it's tough to get quotes. They just don't have the staff. I'm hopeful that we can get a quote soon. You know, 3 quotes soon from one of these entities, and I can bring them back before the board, and see if we can get somebody selected. And hopefully it's less than $250,000. Then it would also cost us less than our match. So, you know, it's a match that, you know, it's an 80-20 split. So, you know, it would cost us less. So I'm hopeful that will happen, but it is a real concern out there of trying to get people to respond. The market is overflooded with work. So that's just an update on the EDA stuff for you guys, for the board. Also, our animal control officer had reached out to me, and next week we will have before you another company that we're gonna go into a memorandum of understanding, so that there's another, you know, like we did with Porter Road Pet Care, we're gonna bring in another memorandum of understanding. I've been reaching out to Here Today, Adopt Tomorrow, you know, trying to bring in for cats. The animal control officer had requested some help with just cats. Porter Road Pet Care has been very helpful with the dogs. She's looking for something with cats now, so we're going to try to get that memorandum of understanding wrapped up for you guys for next week for your review, and hopefully we can get that taken care of. You also have next week a finalized, I know we talked about making some modifications, and we almost had it all complete with final draft for you to review for job evaluations, performance evaluations. And we would like to get those, I'd like to get those ruled out in the month of June after town meeting has come and gone. And by the personnel bylaw, we're supposed to have them done in June. So I'd like to follow that and get that final adoption of that performance evaluation complete for you guys to review. Next week, we will also have, I was speaking with the police chief, Millette. We're gonna have 2 officers come before you for part-time. You know, as you know, if you're not certified under post, there's no longer part-time opportunities out there. It's gonna put a hurt on a lot of small departments. Chief Millette has been very aggressive with trying to get, you know, officers ramped up so that there's proper coverage in town. So we're going to try to bring 2 officers, one you're very familiar with, Officer Merkel, and then another officer is going to be before you next week for consideration for part-time work, to put them back, you know, as possible candidates for part-time. And then I've also spoken to Chief Millette, and we're going to do an aggressive campaign, maybe right in the summer, before the summer in June, and then in the fall, to do some advertising to get some people that maybe are interested in doing some part-time work that are currently certified officers, to expand our role and our roster of part-time people, so that we have more of a pool of people, you know, to pick from to fill critical spots and critical needs, and see what we can get out there, because there's going to be staffing issues, as you know, as everybody knows, and it's tough to find, you know, people that want to continue to, you know, as I had a conversation with the chief, you know, it's, you know, a lot of stuff comes up and life gets in the way and families grow, and, you know, there's not as much people that are looking to take on extra jobs, and for some reason, and, you know, we have to be creative, and we're trying to expand, you know, if we can get certified officers from a neighboring community who want to earn a few extra dollars and pick up some shifts, let's get them on our part-time, you know, roster, so we can, you know, continue to, you know, to have coverage. And I'll be working with the chief on that. And I spoke to the fire chief this week and last week. We had last week, myself and Selectmen Ihawker had sat down with our IT provider, Northeast IT. We went over a lot of different things, some of the issues that we had raised in front of the board, and make sure that we were all on the same page. We're continuing to work and addressing issues at the fire station and issues at the senior center and the highway garage. And I've spoken to the police, the fire chief, Chief Lavoie. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here this evening, but he wanted to let the board know that we were working together in trying to address some of the key issues for this firewall, and he's having Comcast come in next week. We're switching from Crocker to Comcast over there to address the speed issue, because the speed issue was significantly low at the fire station. So we will have that addressed. They're coming to do the install on Monday, and you know, again, we're going to be working with Northeast IT to get his computer updated. There was an issue with Quicken Books. He was using a 2004 version of Quicken Books, and it's just not supported anymore. So in order to transfer some of that data, we could possibly look at a 2013 version as a conversion, and then from 2013 to 2023, hopefully we can make a conversion, because they stopped doing the conversions in 13. But if we can get a conversion to 13, then the 13 would take us to 2023. So we're working on that to try to make sure that that's done. He operates his budget off of Quicken Books, so we're trying to make that work for the chief and to get that addressed. It's going to take some time. We also went over to the highway garage identified some of their issues over there. One of the highway computers from the secretary of the highway needs some updated gig, and it would cost us like $60 to put some new sticks of gig in there. Would expand the life of that machine for another 2.5 years. So we're probably just gonna do that. I mean, it makes so much sense to do that for the short amount of money. So we're going to, get that done, and look at, their Wi-Fi over there, look at their firewall system that they have over there, or lack thereof, and try to address some of those key issues of the IT components. This week, we had a delivery for all of our equipment that we had gotten from the grant, for the health wellness grant from Maya. The delivery came this Tuesday, and I want to give a shout out and a kudos to the highway staff, who were very helpful. They were able, Jeremy had called them, they send his crew over. We're able to unhatch the door, take the door off of the hinges, so that we can get the refrigerator in there. It was very helpful, and was very knowledgeable in getting us in there and getting it done. They're all in there, they're all brand new equipment, and it's a totally covered grant through Maya. I've already submitted for reimbursement. We should see reimbursement within the next 3 to 4 weeks. So that's really nice for everybody to use in the building. And it didn't cost the town or the taxpayers any dollars. Continuing to work with the assessors, with the Board of Assessors and the assessing department, providing our new assistant assessor have gotten some training. I reached out to the town of Hamden, and their Kelly McCormick has been providing training on a weekly basis for 4 weeks of training. For Betty Jo, and it's been invaluable for her, and it's really helping her along and getting the office organized. The office hasn't been really well organized in some years, so she's really getting it well organized, and making some updates and some modifications, and identifying some areas in which we need to do better on. And I think this has been very helpful and very informative, and I thank the town of Hamden for working with us to try to allowing one of their employees to help us. It's very important, and it's very critical to get that and make sure that we have it up and running. And the Board of Assessors have been very accessible and willing to also step in and help out. So I have to give them a kudos as well for being there and being supportive of our new employee, and in supporting that role. It's been wonderful. And Board of Health, we also have a new person there, and she's working, and she's getting some training, and she's going to trainings virtually with the state. And I have to also give thanks and praise to Brianna for giving a lending a helping hand and showing some guidance for all of that help and support, and working with her board. And in her new role, she seems very excited about the position, and she's been getting in touch with all of our vendors and different contracts that the Board of Health has, and working with partners on grants and different things. She's getting her feet wet in a lot of that area of the Board of Health. So I have to give her a lot of credit, and she's been very responsive in trying to help out with the needs of the Board of Health. Yes.
How many hours has Brianna put in?
For assisting?
Since leaving?
Since leaving, I don't know the exact amount, but she's been here in and out. She's been obviously compensated for that.
Oh, she is,
So,
okay,
yeah,
all right, that's
yeah,
good. I didn't know
yeah.
if she was just volunteering. there.
No.
Okay,
No.
all right, good. So,
So, but she's,
Yeah, you know,
She
I mean,
has
she
been-
didn't have to do that.
yeah, no, she's been very
She
helpful.
wanted to leave and do her, something else, and,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
she's,
Yeah, no, she's been
Awesome.
very helpful to us, and we're very lucky. And there's been a lot of issues that have come up with Title V, and, you know, we're working with, you know, our Title V agent. We still need a health agent. The town does not have a health agent as of yet. So we're going to, was talking with Jessica today, and we're gonna get it re-advertised. This is not an employee, it's kind of like an independent contractor that the Board of Health retains for the town. But we have to, you know, be aggressive in trying to advertise and get that position filled. I thought maybe we had somebody in Belchertown that maybe was looking to do some extra work, but I guess his schedule had already filled up. So, you know, we are gonna have to do an aggressive campaign to try to advertise for a licensed health agent.
so that's not covered by that municipal agreement that they brought to us?
No, this is separate. We have our own health agent. We've always had our own health agent. I think it's been Trish in the past. She left, you know, maybe right after I started, maybe 2 or 3 months after I left. I mean, I was here 2 or 3 months since I started, she left. And so we have to fill that position. That position has to be filled for inspectional purposes and different things like that. That's just a, you know, a vendor that we've always had. You know, whether it be somebody that, you know, does it, you know, for multiple towns, or somebody that, you know, does it for one town, is looking to do it for extra money. You know, but we have to have somebody who's licensed as a health agent, registered health agent for the town. And obviously, we've been preparing for town meeting, special town meeting, and annual town meeting, getting all the warrants done. The budget book is here, it's printed, the town clerk has it. The warrants, as you can see, have been posted by the constable. You know, the town report is in. Karen had gotten the town report together. Thank you, Karen, for doing that. You know, there's a lot of, you know, inner workings that, you know, take place that does all of that. So, town report's in, the budget book is here, our warrant articles are there, ready to go. Jeff, town council, is well aware of all of our articles. He will be there the night of the meeting. We will have to talk about, you know, what time, you know, the board wants to meet, you know, before the special. I know, is it normally about 6? I don't know if you want to do 6 or 5:45, or, you know, what the board would like to do, but we have to get that set up, and I'd like to coordinate that with the FinCom, and with Karen to get that posted.
Typically, it's 30 minutes prior. Board meets 30 minutes prior to the start of the special, just to pass out articles and know what everybody's gonna have their part, and meet the moderator. This year, we may not have a moderator, so we'll have to deal with that when that comes to. But, yeah, 30 minutes prior.
So we'll plan on meeting for 6. You know, I'll definitely let the FinCom know that, you know, it's gonna be 6. And we're obviously, you know, gonna get ready and make sure everything is as seamless as possible for planning for town meeting.
Very good. Anything else, sir?
Any questions that we can?
No?
The refrigerators and stuff look good in there, in the break room, so that was that part of that grant, the health grant, was to get you, new refrigerator and microwave and stuff. Refrigerators, energy efficient now.
Energy efficient, yep.
Which is great, because the other one was not energy efficient. Pretty much turns on, and you can see the power dim down when it, you know, but everything's nice and clean and energy efficient, looking good. And thank you very much for getting that with Maya too. What else? Now, where do we stand with the radio stuff,
Radio infrastructure?
the radio infrastructure stuff?
It's been going, let me think here, Coy Hill's in, Southbridge Road's in, everything's on the Gilbert Road Tower, they're waiting for the structure down below.
So we're almost ready to go completely live with that.
Almost, yep.
Very good.
I know we had one of the larger bills coming, just recently come in, and we had paid that through the ARPA, one of the final bills.
Okay. All right. And then, that was it. I think that's it. Lighting
Yep.
underneath our board here.
Yep, that is definitely on the list, and it's gonna be part of the project that we're, trying to do some improvements around the building. That is not been forgotten, that is gonna happen.
And then inside the town hall building,
Yes.
I would recommend, we talked about getting the stairs replaced,
Sure.
going into the basement, like replace the whole thing because we know they're faulty and there's some issues. But if we can get some money, find out how much it's gonna cost, get some quotes to replace the stairs, so we don't have to have Jerry's cone off to the side so somebody doesn't fall through the stairs. Let's just get them fixed, replaced, so we don't have to worry about that no more. Because again, we have work that's gonna be having to go on down in that basement to clean it up. So, to get all that paperwork and stuff out of there, and anybody abating asbestos or anything like that, you want them to have good stairs to walk on and not worry about issues. So, you guys good with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
So we'll get some quotes for that. The trial court is also coming tomorrow to move some of the boxes in the foyer of the old town hall. These boxes, a lot of them are from the historical
Yeah, they're all
commission,
old.
old. And, we're gonna try to get them situated in a location into that room downstairs, into the new archive room in between, right behind the gymnasium.
And then, if you can see if they can, you're gonna throw away that old cabinet that I took out of the bathroom today. Get rid of that.
And we'll see if they can get some of the stuff, we had some of the stuff moved, if they have time, from the historical room when they put the rug down. It's in the hallway, we're gonna see if we can get them to move it, to put it back into the historical room, so that the hallway is cleared.
Yeah, we wanna keep the hallways clear. And then, the safe,
Safe, I just spoke to the chief about that. He was doing some online auction stuff, and I thought maybe you could
maybe
put it on the
somebody-
online auction.
I have somebody that's probably interested in it.
oh, really?
This is the town clerk one, the old,
The old big blue box thing?
yeah.
The thing
Yeah,
that
I
weighs
do, I
like
have
100
somebody
tons?
that's, yeah.
Um,
So Jerry, get with me,
Well,
or
Yeah.
Jim, whoever.
Yeah, see if we can get rid of that, because it's not doing us any good sitting there. And, whatever we can get for it, for money, or if we can sell it as scrap metal, you know.
And
'cause
it's gonna have to be rigged to get out of there, and so that's gonna cost whoever's buying it some
Well,
money.
that's the thing, whoever's buying it gets to move it.
Right.
We ain't delivering that
No,
thing for
yeah.
them. That thing's gonna, yeah. And it's not gonna be a couple guys coming in here to lift that thing up. You know, Jeremy and his guys really struggled to move that to where it is.
It's definitely not moving on its own.
You mean we can't roll it?
Yeah. Okay, and then, have you heard anything about putting in the displays up on the second floor to display stuff?
I've been in contact with Pathfinder now twice, because I'm trying to get them to do the treasurer's project,
Mhm.
and I haven't gotten any confirmation back from them. I'm gonna continue to try to reach out to them this week and see if they're interested. If not, then I'll have to get a quote from somebody who's a carpenter, to do something like that.
So maybe MassCore, or what about Tantasqua? Do they have a carpentry?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it'd be nice to get.
Don't we have a cabinet builder carpenter here in town? Right on 67?
George.
Oh, is he?
Who is
Well, I imagine these projects, they're not gonna be cheap.
No.
Even Dawn's,
Oh, it's a custom.
Yeah, custom ADA compliant, that's gonna be an expensive piece,
Well, MassCore may be a good source then.
Yeah.
I'll check.
Yeah, look at options. And then, flagpole out here. When we're leaving, we noticed the light is actually not on the flag. So we have to get a light that's spotlighted onto the actual flag. Right now, there's a solar light that's there and it's not working, that's on the pole. And then the parking lot light is actually below the flag. So it flashes, it's going on the parking lot. There's nothing that's actually, if we're gonna have the flag up all night long, it has to be lit up.
Mhm.
So we're gonna look at see if we can get an electrician, put a spotlight out there for the flag, so we can properly display the flag.
Okay.
Might as well have them do that
While
while they're
they're doing
looking
that,
at
yeah.
lighting for the message board. I think that's it. Really?
No?
Do you have anything, sir?
Light put sign outside.
Yep, and lights.
Mhm.
Maybe they could have some
Solar.
solar lights
yeah.
for,
I'm gonna probably just get the ones that you had indicated.
I think those are good.
Yeah.
Those true.
You like those work good, yeah?
Yeah, one will be fine for that.
Just one? Yeah.
something else we wanna look into is, we have this beautiful sign out there now. We have the etching on the building now, and it looks good. But it's kinda sad when we drive up underneath the tunnel, we have a sign that says municipal buildings, and it goes that way, and it's just a little blue beat-up sign
Mhm.
that's there. If we can get a sign that says, Shepherd Municipal Building, that's
Mhm.
nice, and put it there, maybe that's something we can work on too, so we present the town a little better, because we have the message board that's there from the Chamber of Commerce, and then our sad little blue sign. So,
Okay.
it's not hometown like,
Mhm.
If we can look at a sign there. You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be nice, because even the day before yesterday, I was walking towards the post office, and two little ladies asked me where was the town hall. It was very hard to tell them, take a right, another right,
It's not-
then second right, and then a right.
It's not well marked. And then the other thing we wanna look at is, we met with CSX.
Mhm.
CSX said,
I saw a truck of CSX, believe it or not, yesterday.
Yeah, they're doing work on the rail. Looks like they're gonna replace some ties maybe.
oh, very good,
Yeah, if you look, there's green paint
all right.
on,
I don't know what they were here for, I saw a
So,
CSX truck. I
let them
didn't know.
fix whatever they're gonna fix. But we gotta look at if we can get somebody in here to paint the bridge.
Mhm.
Because, again, CSX made it very clear they're not gonna paint that bridge. They don't do that, they don't care, whatever. But if we can get the bridge painted,
yeah.
that would cut down the unsightliness of it. And, that's one of the problems with our town, is when you look at it, the bridge is very noticeable because it's right in the center of the town. And if we can get that thing scraped and, paint and repainted, that would be great if we could do that somehow.
So maybe you wait to see if they do some repairs and then see, look
Yeah.
at getting some painting,
Yeah, then we're gonna look at some of the falling plaster, I mean.
the sprawling and stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
But the metal will be very nice to paint it like that bridge over there, it's on our website, do you see that?
Yeah,
kind
the
of like-
greenish color?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that will look very nice there.
I think we're fond of green.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if we can paint it like that old, you know, I guess it's copperish, aged copper look.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So,
patina,
patina.
yeah.
Yeah. And then, potentially some lighting down there someday too. But that's a whole nother
But I think
project.
we have to go through their process of letting them know.
As long as we don't, yeah, we can let them know.
They have to
We're doing
prove
it.
the paint.
Yeah, but as long as like the lighting and everything, we can't attach anything to the bridge. But if we had some lights, or maybe
Ornamental.
some ornamental light poles that are there, and we were talking about, one of the things we can do, which would be amazing, is if we could have it set up that we can plug in lights, put clips on the bridge, and during the winter, you know, for Christmas and stuff, we can run lights on the bottom of the bridge, so when you drive under the bridge, you see it's lit up
Yeah.
underneath,
Nice.
Oh, like a little light tunnel.
like a light tunnel, yeah.
That would be excellent.
So, and especially if it's nice and painted, and we have the lights on it, and,
Mhm.
you know, all that stuff. I
Yeah.
think that would
It
look
would
really
be
good.
nice to,
And I think we
pressure
should-
wash the rocks too, and the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
Yeah, I think the whole thing needs a
Cleaning.
pressure wash
Yeah.
or sandblast or something.
Well, we probably, when we have Earth Day or whatever, when we do the cleanup, we can get out there and clean up underneath that bridge, because I noticed there's a significant amount of little nip bottles and stuff underneath there,
Yeah.
and all that stuff gotta be cleaned up.
Mhm.
And Mrs. Dusty's giving me a look like, I wanna go home.
No, I was just thinking that I had talked to Jessica, she was going to bring it up to her board at their next meeting about doing an Earth Day cleanup thing like we did last year.
Okay.
So I have not heard back. I don't know when they have their meeting next.
It'd be nice if we could do that soon. It would've been nice if we could do that before the parade. You know,
Yeah.
get that done, get everything cleaned up.
What is the parade?
38th or something.
29th, right?
28th,
May?
May 28th.
We don't have it a lot of time.
But Earth Day is what,
You just
June
passed.
21st?
Just passed
Passed.
Oh, it just passed.
Yeah, we missed.
April 14th.
Oh,
last Saturday.
Um, And then there was, oh, I had something on top of my head. I think that's it. Questions? All right, do you guys have any other questions for me?
No.
No? So that concludes your
Yes.
report? Okay, any new business? We got the municipal vulnerability preparedness MVP plan. We got that, so that's available to us now from CMRPC. And can you make sure this goes on the website?
Sure.
Thank you. And also, Jim McKeon gets copies. So,
Okay. I will email it to Jim.
and any of the department heads too. I would email it to all the department heads.
Yeah, send them a PDF.
Send it to Jerry twice. All right. And then, anybody have new business?
No.
No, sir. Old business. Anybody have any old business?
Do not.
No, really?
No? No? Okay. Correspondence. Do we have any correspondence? No? Correspondence? No? Okay, comments and concerns. Any comments and concerns?
I'll just make a comment that the Old Town Hall looks fabulous, because you took the poison ivy down.
Yeah.
I walked by and I'm like, wow, it looks good now. Because it looked like a jungle back there. so I have to say you did.
I cut a lot down. There's
Yeah.
still some that needs to be cut, some of that brush, I cut some of the bittersweet away too,
Mhm.
and got that out of there. But really gotta get down into the river and get the bittersweet out of there and drag it out. A lot of the rocks and stuff too, so. And I cleaned the dead hawk out of there too.
Oh.
You're the man.
It does. Well, thank you for doing that.
Thank you very much. And anything else?
No.
Anything?
No, sir.
Comment, concerns? No? Anybody, comment, concern? Mr. Conrad?
Joe Condrat, resident. I was thinking, if Route 19 supposedly starts at the Soldiers Monument, maybe we could get the state to donate the paint so that we could paint the bridge.
I don't know how they would do that. They probably wouldn't donate the paint. There would be a beautification grant or something like that we'd have to go through. But it's CSX property, so it's
Private
kinda.
property.
It's private property, and we have to get permission from CSX to do it. They did kinda give us permission. They said they wouldn't oppose it if we were to do it. As long as we're not making any modifications to the bridge in any way, they were okay with, but they did make it very clear, we're not painting the bridge. They said that to us in the meeting, they're like, yeah, we don't paint the bridges, they're what they are, and if the community wants to paint them, they talk to the community, and it's the towns that do it. So, in order for us to do that bridge, we would have to come up with a plan to be able to paint it on our own and however we get the paint. But I'm sure we're gonna have to do something that's environmentally safe too. We gotta make sure that it's not lead-based paints or anything like that that we're putting on the bridge. And something that's resilient that can hold up to it.
That'd be oil-based.
Well, again, oil-based bubbles under heat, and when you paint metal under the sun, it's probably gonna bubble up and flake off. So there's probably some good paints that are out there that are for bridges that we would have to get, something specialized.
Jeremy would know.
And Jeremy would be the guy to do that for. They paint them with somewhere.
Since Jeremy knows about the paint, and you can ask him if we could paint the lines in the center towns. I get cars crossing the double line every day. People just not
Yeah.
respect, so with the lines, at least we have an extra
So you follow up with Jeremy on the lines,
I'll check with the.
line painting.
Could use a line up the old West Warren Road from the lights, because the trucks going up and coming down from Coparts, all's on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
I know that Jeremy has been out almost every day this, in the nice weather with cleaning, street sweeping.
Yeah.
So he's preparing the roads, so maybe, as he gets up all the dirt and the debris, then maybe he's gonna plan to start doing some painting. I have brought it to his attention, he said that he will be getting to it, I'll remind him again.
Yeah, usually it does, like, it's late spring, early summer that he does that. So you're right, probably after all the cleanup stuff.
Well, he did say it has to be a certain temperature
Right.
Yeah.
for him to be able to apply the paint.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or it doesn't stick.
Yeah.
Jim, could you tell him to check, Jones Street, there's a bunch of.
Jones Street?
Yeah, there's a bunch of streets on.
Jones?
Yes, there's a bunch of leaves on the road,
Leaves, okay.
and might as well take care of them now.
Okay.
You drive right through with the street sweeper and probably pick them right up.
Yeah, before one of the water runoffs puts everything on South Beach Road and blocks all the sewer.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else, comments, concerns? Good, Jim? Sure. Anybody on Zoom have any comments, concerns?
Interesting.
Hung up? No? All right. So, next meeting is May 4th, 2023 at 6 PM.
You have an executive at 5 that day.
And there is an executive session at 5 o'clock on that day also. And that's a employee. Okay, that's an employee issue. That'll be at 5 o'clock. Okay, and, let's see, and then May 2nd is the election, so please get out and vote. It's important for you to be able to have that right and vote in your community. So please get out and vote. And that's going from 8 AM to 8 PM.
8 AM. 8 and 8.
8 to 8. And other than that,
Motion to adjourn?
Wait,
oh,
don't you want to announce the meeting, the town meeting?
well, I'm gonna have a meeting in between there,
Well, yeah,
May 4th.
but the more word you get out there, the more people might come.
Okay. Mrs. Dusty wants me to announce the town meeting, and the town meeting is May 9th, and it is gonna be at 6:30 for the special,
Yeah.
and 7 o'clock for the annual. Please get out and vote, show up at the meeting and cast your vote for articles and whether yay and nay, and, you know, it's important for the community. I don't wanna see 50 people show up for a town meeting. This is a good town, everybody loves it, it's very important to everybody, so please get out and go to the town meeting and listen to what's being presented, and you have the right to be able to vote on stuff, whether you support it or you don't support it. So, but don't say that you didn't like something if you didn't vote for it. So,
It's a great way to spend a Tuesday.
if you didn't even show up for the meeting, you know? I see a lot of people on Facebook putting comments out there saying, you know, this, I can't believe they did this. Did you show up at the town meeting? Did you vote? So, get out and vote. All right. Good? All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. We are adjourned.